Be please.
I can just give it to you.
Good evening and welcome to the last ASW of the year. The young lady that's coming up next needs no introduction. She's passionate, she's keen. And she's got a lovely smile. Zira.
Thank you, Jerry. Hello, and welcome to the movies. Tonight, we are going to watch the movie of joy. So, did you bring your tickets?
No.
No one gets in.
I have tickets, don't worry.
Okay.
So, I'm going to give you your tickets.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, seriously?
Your ticket and your ticket.
Wow.
Okay, we are ready now. So, I just need the ticket. So, can everyone show me your ticket? Otherwise, there is no movie here.
Okay.
Cool. So, we are going to start by thinking about joy in our lives and thinking about life. Usually, it's like a smooth road, right? So, sometimes it's really positive and the sun is shining, and you know, it's like birds are singing and the sky is blue. It's just amazing, right? So I want to invite all of you to watch this movie with me, with your eyes closed, because it's the only way that we are going to watch the same movie together. So would you be happy to do it? Okay. So let's close our eyes. I'm just going to keep talking during the next 7 minutes. I'm timing myself, don't worry. So we are going to see this beautiful road of life, right? So it's blue sky, the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the clouds look like little fluffy bunnies. It's just beautiful today. But sometimes the road of life is really bumpy as well. So there are obstacles, there is anger, there is fear. So let's imagine that we are driving. You can choose the color of the car that you prefer. And we are driving, and from the distance, we see a big, massive rock just in the middle of the road. It's a big obstacle that is causing us pain or frustration or fear. Can you see that big rock just in the middle of the road? Well, that is one problem that is stressing us now. So think from 1 to 10, how much stress or frustration is that problem causing you? Is it maybe a 3, it's not so big, or a 5? Maybe it's a 10, it's the biggest rock that you have seen ever in your life. Do you have a number now in your mind? How big is that problem that you have, or that situation that is stressing you? We are going to go through the 8 pillars of joy and try to make that rock or that problem smaller, or at least watch the same movie together. So the first pillar is perspective. So take a step back and try watching that problem from the distance. See the rock and see yourself there as well, but as if it's someone else from the distance. and try to imagine how that big rock shrinks. Do you think that problem will matter in 1 year? Or maybe in 5 or 10 years? Can you try to make that rock smaller and smaller? What if now it's like a golf ball, or maybe you can make it really, really small, like a grain of sand. So we have more space in this screen to invite more people and more elements. So now we are going to go to the humility place. So let's invite our parents, our friends, our family to this movie, because all the greatest moments in our life are about the people that we love. And let's feel appreciation for them as well, because all of them are struggling with maybe with biggest problems. And now let's go to the human place. Do you think there is something to laugh about that situation? Even if it's a very serious situation. What about if we find a reason to smile? Can you see yourself smiling even though the rock is there and the problem is there, but you still find a reason to smile? The fourth place to go is acceptance. Because what has happened has already happened, and there is nothing to do. We cannot change the past. The only thing we can do is accept this struggle, this problem, this rock, and it just shrinks. Then we go to the forgiveness place. Because sometimes we feel guilty, even if it was not our fault. So let's see yourself in that movie. And see yourself placing your hand in your heart with kindness and forgiving yourself or anyone else involved. Because we all, 7 billion people, we are all full of errors and mistakes and limitations. So if we can forgive ourselves, maybe we feel better about that problem or situation. Then let's invite the gratitude to our movie as well. And let's see the faces of the 3 people that you are grateful for. Maybe your parents, your friends, your children, the people who smile to us today. Can we see 3 lovely people in our movie? Now we are going to have compassion for ourselves, because we are not meant to be perfect. We are just meant to be happy and enjoy this road. It takes time to learn and grow. So if we can have compassion for ourselves, we can also send that compassion to our loved ones. And even, why not, to the people that we are struggling with. And finally, the last step is generosity. Do you think that you have learned something from that problem, from that experience in life, and you can share that knowledge with someone else, maybe? Do you think you could help someone else to go through the same problem? Or maybe you could speak about that or write a book, or give a talk, or just explain to your children the situation and what you learn from that. We have in this movie just one main thing to remember, and that thing is in our envelopes. So if we all open our eyes, there is just one thing to remember, and it is that joy is not something that we learn, it's something that we live. And the only way to live in joy is by sharing with others. I put a summary in the big page, in the envelope, because it's quite a lot. And something absolutely beautiful happened today, which was not part of the speech. But someone was really, really sad at the office. She was crying at the bottom, like really badly. And I just gave her one of these, and she was like, oh my God. I just printed one ticket with her name, and she was like, oh, where did that things come from? So, of course, I'm going outside the speech, but I just want to say that my reason to speak is not, I just realized my why. My why is just try to make people happy. So even if I'm full of mistakes or I'll forget half of the speech, if someone experiences a little bit of happiness, joy, just calm or relaxing feelings, that's a successful speech for me. Thank you.
Well, I think that speech deserves a lot of applause, don't you? So, well, the first thing is the most obvious thing, the ticket. It was a great visual aid, not only because it showed preparation, but it was personalized. So it allows us to connect and feel important and recognized. And I think that's very important if you can create that strong bond with your audience as soon as you're started. That's very good. My wish in the middle will be that if we are closing our eyes, the voice was a little bit monotone for me, a bit too relaxing. So it's easy to start feeling a little bit drowsy or sleepy or maybe disconnect from time to time for what you are saying. So even though you want to take us to a relaxing place where we can see what you are trying to show us, you need to try to remember that having the eyes closed is already probably to make us feel a little bit sleepy, so maybe control that a little bit. But I love the fact that you had a very creative approach to the visual aids, not only with the physical ones, but with closing the eyes. Obviously, you were trying to create an image on itself, making all the speech into a visual aid itself. I think that is very important. This is no techniques, of course, but I think this is very important, the fact that you realize your why, what success means to you, because that's what is going to allow you in the future to keep moving forward and really give your soul and your heart to everything you do, and then just become the greatest speaker. So, yeah, that's my... I don't know what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. So, will anyone else like to say something?
Okay. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters. I just want to say thank you. Thank you that you did that. And first of all, how much you've grown in just this little space of time that you've been coming here, that I've been seeing you going from there and say something. How much you've grown, your diversity, your ability to be very creative, your originality knows no bound. In as much as the voice was monotonous, I think that what the exercise was actually suits it, because we were not here with you. We were here in our mind with you because we were not looking at or seeing you. What we were hearing was a voice. And it was as if I was in bed and there is this sonorous bedroom voice whispering in my ear. That is exactly what I was hearing, and it was spot on. You took me to a place. You did that, and you brought me back. But the place that when you said we should open our eyes, I felt as if you were so emotional that you almost shed a tear. I almost see you breaking down. I was just saying within me, hold it, hold it, hold it. I felt how much that meant to you, and I'm glad you did it. Well done.
Thank you.
Someone else? Yeah?
I guess echoing, or kind of in addition to what Johnny just said, when I think about the first time I saw you, you had a real, I don't know if you remember the first time, you were like Tigger. You were kind of bouncing, almost dancing, and in a really, really lovely way, because it was a joy to watch. But as Tony said, you've grown so much. Not just as a speaker, I think as a person, because you kind of half lengthened, sat on the table so relaxed, and your words took us to that place as well. It's that kind of real kind of reflective, relaxed state, whatever else, because you led us there, not by the words you're using necessarily, but by your tone, by your pace. The pauses, everything. I thought it was brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. Loved the preparation. Really, really loved it. That is so. I'm going to put that in my wallet and keep it. I think it's so. Inspiring. So yeah, well done. You obviously massive journey you've been on. Yeah. So thank you for letting us be part of it.
Someone else? Well, something else to finish actually that we always say that we should have is something to take away, and obviously you gave us that with this, so I think that's another star. Yeah. So well done.
Our next speaker is going to do her 10th speech. She's going to get our content communication badge tonight.
Drum rolling. We're still drumming.
It's awesome.
Well, tonight I would like to invite you to Dare to Dream Big. And it's just because I would like you to imagine, or just ask yourself, do you think that we will be able to be here if it wasn't because someone, Edison, had a big dream? I mean, we wouldn't have the electricity, we would all be sleeping, and pretty cold as well, we wouldn't have the heat, right? Or many of us are foreigners. Do you think we will be able to be here if the Wright brothers didn't create the airplanes? If they didn't have a big dream? I don't think we would. Most of the great accomplishments of the world, of humanity, in the life of individuals, has started as dreams. I don't know what's happening with this big dream thing. For me, it's very important. I think I'm going to forget what I even planned. I just need you to understand that anything that you want to accomplish in your life, any action that you take, anything that will create an impact and will allow you to be remembered, has started and needs to start with a dream. Otherwise, you won't have the drive to make things happen. You won't have the resilience when life hits you and when you just fail to carry on and keep doing what you want to do, to just transcend and do what you were supposed to do when you came to this earth. And it's just that, if people didn't have big dreams, we wouldn't have electricity. Like Thomas Alva Edison, he wouldn't have taken thousands of fails and carry on trying if he didn't have a massive dream. And the Wright brothers, imagine how many people would have told them that they are crazy, that they are stupid, that that's unnatural, that they need to put their feet on the ground because they are no birds. And they just need to walk. Plus what they were doing was quite dangerous. Imagine if they pay attention to that. And they didn't follow their dreams. I mean, people is going to tell you that your dreams are impossible. And I just want you to remember that your dreams are impossible. Oh, it's nothing impossible. It's only impossible to the extent that you believe it. Because whatever that we thought was impossible before are just things that we didn't know how to do it yet. So things that we believe are impossible right now is just stuff that we haven't discovered how to do it yet. I mean, imagine if 200 years ago, 100 years ago, I told to someone, oh yeah, in 5 minutes I'm going to speak to my mom. She lives overseas, in the other side of the Atlantic, and I'm going to see her and listen to her voice in real time. Ah, by the way, I'm going to do it with a wireless invisible thing called Wi-Fi. So there is nothing that you can see that physically connects me with her, but I'm going to speak with her in 5 minutes. I mean, they will say, I'm totally nuts. Or what if you say, well, I'm going to send someone to the moon, or even better, I'm going to create a hotel for people to go to space. So pretty much everything that we have, that we enjoy right now, was once impossible. So just remember that your dream is not impossible, because there is nothing impossible. You just haven't discovered how to make it happen yet. And in this sense, as I said before, people are going to tell you how stupid you are and how crazy you are. And it's just because, obviously, everyone who has achieved someone was crazy until he didn't, and then he was a genius. So just remember that your dream is yours. It's no one else. It was given to you because you are the one who can give it life and who can make it happen. And actually, in this sense, there is something that Les Brown once said, that the first time I heard it, it really hit me, and I carry it with me pretty much. I think about it pretty often. And paraphrasing in Arusion, what he says, imagine that you are in your deathbed and you are surrounded by all the ideas, by all the dreams, the talents, and the abilities that you have been given. And they are just looking at you with large, angry eyes, reproaching you and saying, hey, we came to you because you are the only one who can give us life. And now we just must die with you. And no one will ever see us. So that's what will happen with your dreams if you don't dare to dream big. Because we fill our life with shoots and would like to lose some weight. I would like to travel. And that doesn't have, like, you didn't hear Martin Luther King saying, oh, we should do this with our people, or I would like this for my nation. No, he said, I have a dream. I have a dream for my nation, for the world, and that's what moves millions of people. So when you feel discouraged, when you feel lonely, because the route to success is lonely, because no one else can see your dream but you. When you fail, and when you hit rock bottom and you need to get up again and somehow get your strength, please just remember to dream big, because you have everything that you need to make it happen.
Hello. Can I ask you, how did you feel in that speech?
At the beginning, I don't know, my mind wasn't there. I think it's because I was too relaxed. I wasn't there.
I'm just curious because I felt like, I don't know, like a mix of emotions there. I was like, maybe it was just me or the way that the pace, it was very fast and I was trying to catch up with the ideas.
Yeah, well, at the end, like, pretty much, I believe the problem for, like, this is a topic that is very important for me because I believe that the biggest problem that many people have is that they don't dare to dream. They don't even know what they want for themselves. So that's why they live a miserable life.
Yeah.
And to be happy, only other than accepting yourself and so on, is to know what you want in life and to have a purpose and go for it. And many people don't have it, and many people just don't go for it.
Thank you. Well, I wrote inspiring, motivating. I love two sentences that you said. There is nothing impossible, you just haven't discovered how to make it happen. Like, I can keep that idea in my brain, like it's something to really easily take from the speech. And also, the route to success is lonely. I think both of them were beautiful, and all the vocal variety, like the words that you use, were really interesting to show the main idea. And also, you use lots of different examples, like the Wi-Fi, electricity, airplanes. I don't know what's wrong with that way speaking today, and traveling. So it was lots of stories, and the book will suggest to use the stories or anecdotes to share the story, the main point. So those two are my start, and I put as a wish that the pace was a little bit fast. I don't know, maybe it was just my feeling, but maybe more pause would allow people to digest all these stories and connect the dots in our brains. Anyone has feedback? Stella? Tony?
No, you heard that.
What did I really enjoy about it? I really enjoyed your authenticity and your passion. And I was kind of there with you. You know, as you were speaking, you were talking about how you felt listening to it. I loved the pace because it felt, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost a word I can't remember. Not primeval, I can't remember what the word is. But it felt real kind of almost animalistic, you know.
Visceral.
Maybe that one as well. But kind of, it felt really, it felt completely authentic. But one thing, I think that a few pauses would have been nice, because although I was kind of with you on the journey and it's like, oh, you go, wow, and whatever, I think, as Imara kind of said, I think just the occasional pause would have been nice, just to kind of let things settle what you'd said, because you were saying so much and with such passion and conviction. It was almost like almost something coming over us, if that makes sense, or me. What would I recommend? The book that you took at the front was a distraction, if you want my honest opinion. For the first maybe minute and a half, you kind of had so much attention, kind of looking, like almost doubting yourself. My only kind of wish would be trust yourself for the amazing person and speaker that you are, because you are. So, yeah, well done.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if you see this, but I feel that you have a good natural voice. It's very projected, just naturally. I find that really good. Like your speech about thinking big, it's all about visions. Visions can be big, goals have to be really small and specific and like sort of within the next 1 or 3 months kind of thing. Whereas visions can be big, and they should, or you can allow them to be big, and they should be big, because that's going to like drive you towards whatever it is you want to be doing. When you're talking about like having big sort of dreams, I was thinking of like Donald Trump for some reason. That just came into my head. Like it's always about talking, it has to be bigger. Let's build a big wall. I don't know if you read like. I've read a few like Donald Trump books. There was one that said that at one stage in his life, that Donald Trump was $9.2 billion in debt. I don't know if you knew this. So he was walking up to like a beggar on the street one day, and he was thinking to himself, at this point that this guy is $9,200 million richer than I am. Like even at your low points, even then, like I don't know if you remember like the crash in Wall Street, but like most people who lost a lot of money in the crash were jumping out of buildings then, because it's quite a big take emotionally to lose quite a lot of money, and to have faith in yourself and like keep your eye on that big goal is quite important, because you know if Donald Trump can like dream big and achieve something and become president, I'm sure we can all do that. So,
Can I say something briefly?
Yes, absolutely.
I just want to say congratulations. I'll give you a handshake. You got there at last. Yeah, and two, while looking at you on the, because I was watching the video and looking at you as well, you looked stunning. You were dressed for the occasion. Unfortunately, though, the beginning wasn't. I don't know if what it was. I mean, I believe you and every other person noticed is that, I mean, you weren't just Stella. The Stella we know is a lively, exciting, and the going type. But that beginning wasn't you. I don't know what happened, but you tried to power it through. That is a very, very good thing you did out there. The topic was great, and I think the presentation was a little bit, this is not your best speech. It was a very wonderful topic, but this is not your best presentation. Irrespective of this, your 10th speech, which I think the content is motivational.
Yeah,
Inspirational. Yeah, I was really inspired, though you stick to the content, but I think it was not your best speech. And if you want to do this again, I'll suggest to just have a very strong opening. You know exactly what to do, I know that. So I suggest you do this speech again. But then, congratulations, you're a competent communicator. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations, you finished your book.
Harrison, woo!
So, you're probably wondering why I have a deck of cards in my hand. This will become relevant, as you'll see, for my conclusion. So, Anthony Robbins talks about this thing, about there's four, if you look at someone, there's four basic sort of, my mind has just gone completely blank for some reason. Help me out there.
Speak about something that you know. It doesn't matter if someone else says.
Let me start over again. So,
can we take just 2 minutes? Yeah. I'll suggest, and stop the time.
Yes.
I'll suggest somebody else speak this point. Then you take the person's turn and let's speak.
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
When you're comfortable.
It's easy. You just sit down. Somebody else will speak now. I think that will be Tony. If you
I
don't
can do a
mind.
survey when it involves the audience, and it makes me more.
No, it's because we're working with time. So
Yeah, okay.
just relax.
Harrison, what would you like to do? Would you like to
I
stand
don't-
up and start again? Do you want to go after me?
Okay,
What would
yeah.
your preference be?
Yeah.
I'll go again.
Okay.
Okay, you want to do it again?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's do a survey.
Okay,
Who?
start your
You've
introduction
been
again.
timed actually.
Right. Start your introduction again.
Oh, with the cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to use the cards, yeah.
I don't know. Where?
Here's why I just wanted to reorganize the speech again.
yeah.
So it can take
It's
time.
kind of like irrelevant, really.
That's why Tony wanted you to sort of sit down.
Yeah,
just
I
give
wanted you
yourself
to
time
relax, take a breather.
Yeah.
Why listen to somebody else is speaking,
Do
then
you want to?
you can.
Right, so introduce Tony.
Okay. Can we please give him a round of applause?
We have another content communicator about to become one. His 10th speech. Tony's done a lot of preparation for this moment, I can tell. But also, I know his speech is going to be absolutely awesome. I give you Tony Broadbent.
It's really interesting. The 3 speakers that have been up so far, the movie of Joy, I was going to talk about Joy. I wasn't sure I was going to use them or not, I brought some cards.
Okay.
But I'm not going to steal Harrison's thunder. So that was okay. I just realised about a minute ago, no, that's not happening. And then Ziamara talked about dreams. So I'm kind of not limited, but my speaker's evolved. Okay. So my kind of speeches so far, literally all, as many I've done, certainly in the ASW, have all had a theme. When I think about, you don't need no stinking feather. You weren't here, Harrison, so I'll just give you a quick heads up on this one. It was about Dumbo, you know, the big elephant.
Yeah.
And it was something like, I think the kind of strapline was, you don't need a feather to fly, you already have wings. Another speech was called Breathe, on about the importance of breathing. What else did I speak about?
Orgasm.
Okay. So I spoke, thank you, ladies. So I spoke about, orgasms, the lottery, and thought. Just to give you a quick heads up again, Harrison, pay attention, put your phone down.
I'm taking notes.
I'm already playing. Just ignore me. Was about orgasms, the lottery, and thought, and about how massively influential the mind can be in any given situation, including when you're about to have an orgasm. I mean, come on, it's quite big, no pun intended, but it's quite a big moment for our minds to affect physiologically that whole thing. The power of the mind is absolutely incomprehensible to even the people that think they know about the mind. So I guess the point, I'm trying to remember one more talk, what did I talk about? Becoming an ideas machine. You know, writing down 10 ideas a day. Is anyone still doing it? Has anyone done it at all? Appreciate it. I don't do it every day. I do it most days. Might find 5 or 6 or whatever else. The point I'm trying to make is there's a kind of common theme. I think I mentioned on my last speech, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, talks about staying in your lane. State of mind and performance, that's my thing. That's what I talk about. So even wherever I start, it doesn't matter, it all comes back to this one point. I did think about doing a hypnosis session. Yeah, just kind of something different. But we've kind of already been there. So we're not going to do that. So we're going to talk about the mind. I'd like to ask a question. How many people dream? Most people, everybody? Good, bad dreams, scary, happy dreams, joyous? Both? Everybody?
Yeah.
What happens when we dream? What happens? If you think about it logically, if you think about it any which way, we're creating that movie in our minds. Does that make sense? But guess what else we're doing? We're perceiving the movie. Does that make sense to people? We're doing both simultaneously, aren't we? So we're actually creating with our minds, nothing else. There's no external stimulus. We're creating our experience, our dream experience. You ever been chased by a dog or chased by people?
Lots of things.
Me too. have you ever, I used to do this as a child, in dreams obviously, otherwise it would be weird, stand on a rooftop or a big hill and run and dive and fly. Who's done that?
I've no clue.
Just me, Dumbo, and Nicky. Well, there you go. But you see the point I'm making. So in a dream state, whatever the dream is irrelevant. The kind of content of the dream is not the important bit. I'm talking about the kind of mechanics of a dream. Creating simultaneously with perceiving. What's the difference in our day-to-day activity? What's the difference? What's the only addition?
We're awake.
We're awake, some would say. What else?
External stimulus?
Absolutely, that's it. We've got a live data feed. We've got external stimulus. So we've got a live data feed. So we're still doing the same thing from the inside out. We're creating our experience of any given situation of life, full stop. We're perceiving at the same time. Only difference is we've got a live data feed. We've got people sitting in the room. We've got temperature. We've got stuff. Traffic covers up. I don't know. Business going bust. Financial stuff, relationship stuff. Whatever it would be, health stuff. We've got external stimulus. We've got a live data feed. There's no difference. But people think when I speak to clients and things, they'll say to me things like, when I say, what's the difference between a dream and through the day, in your living day, and they say things like, well, I know that's just a dream, that's made up. I said, is this not made up? What's the difference? Is there any difference? Can anyone think, oh, well, this is different because?
Well, because you cannot control what other people think.
Upset about
In
this?
their real life, you cannot control the reaction from others. Why did you dream what you pulled?
With all respect, I mean this absolutely and honestly, I don't care what people think. It's not my business. It's really not. Stella, what are you going to say?
I think my only difference will be consequences.
Okay.
Like once you wake up of a dream, that's pretty much it. But here, like whatever it happens, it carry on something else.
Give me an example.
I don't know, eating chocolate every day makes you fart.
But I'm talking about your experience. I'm talking about the mechanics. So again, not the content of thinking, but the mechanics of how it works. I'm just talking about how experience is created. This is my area of fascination and expertise. I hate the word, but it kind of is. So about how experience is created. We create our own reality. You know, we're all in the same room now, looking around at the same things. We've all got, I appreciate different positions, if that makes sense. But my experience of the temperature in this room, my experience of the acoustics in this room, my experience of the light in this room, my experience of you guys, if we all look at Nikki, she's gorgeous, but we've all got a different experience of Nikki right now. She's the same person, but we've all got a different experience of her. I may think one thing, Alistair might think something different, Ziamara might look and see something different.
I'm thinking like 10.
Sorry? I missed that.
So I'm thinking like 10 things.
But you see the point I'm making? But any given situation, think about Trump and Clinton. I'm not trying to start a political debate or conversation here. I was reading something recently, I may have mentioned this before. People, friends and family that have been family forever and friends for 20 years, 30 years are not speaking. Falling out. Brexit, same story. It's made up. This person makes up their version of reality by creating, perceiving a live data feed going on in their daytime activity. This person, person B, does exactly the same. They fall out because this person's made up version of reality is different than this person's. He's trying to convince him, he's trying to convince him, they fall out. If you understand the mechanics of it, and you understand it's just made up, why would it make sense to fall out? There's 7 billion people approximately on the planet. Everyone's got a different opinion. Everyone's got a different idea about what should be, what shouldn't be. Beliefs, values, morals, ethics. It's making sense to anybody.
Yes.
Thank you. I guess my real question, and the thing I'd like to leave you with, is how would you like life to be? Would you like the movie that you've got running in your mind, because that's ultimately what it is? Would you like it to be the movie of joy, if you don't mind me borrowing your title? Would you like it to be Shitsville? Because it can be both. It can be a gorgeous daydream, or it can be an absolute day nightmare. You get to choose. So my question I'd like to leave you with is, what would you choose your life to be if you had the choice, which you have? Thank you.
What was the title, sir?
I'm not sure yet.
Working on that.
I'll let you know if I hear it.
Harrison, please. Okay. You probably thinking.
Do you want to start?
I can fault that, to be honest.
Just go up to the front, stand.
Yeah.
Just tell us a couple of things you like.
You just evaluate the speech.
Use hands like conductor, drop names from stars like Gary Vaynerchuk, ask provoking questions. I like the question at the end that left us thinking and got something to think about, sort of like take away things that I keep saying. Good use of our senses, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, like with the temperature in the room, kind of like that thing. Not a lot of people use that. And sort of looked at everyone around the room. So I couldn't think of something that I could fault there. Really, really good speech. So thanks, Dan.
I think you also, if it's all right by saying, I think you're also kind of getting feedback from the group and you're kind of orchestrating.
Does anyone, Jeremy raised his hand first, see him right there.
Right. As ever, we lost track of time because we were engrossed in the speech and what you were saying.
From green to red.
That's a really
Yeah. As ever, your topic is on target, and you know what your audience is thinking and whatever, and you connect. And I like the fact that you recapped and said there's a theme to everything you've said, and you connected with the previous speeches. One thing, the recommendation, wish, is that you could become even more visual, if you planned it a little bit better in advance. I know you don't like planning, but again, to give you an example, what you could have done is you could have given us a way of looking at something and given us sort of people, like a vase or something, or one of those eye things, where you look at it a different way, you see different things. You see two women speaking, or you see a vase. You know what the sort of thing I'm trying to say to you? You could have had a very visual clue or prop to actually have used, and that would have been more impactful. Again, sort of, if you just plan a little bit, just record yourself, sort of an hour before, and then just create a structure, because then you'll add things onto it. And you think, I could tweak that a bit better. I could have made that better. You're an awesome speaker, don't get me wrong, but if you want to sort of get even better, then I think you've got to start sort of doing a bit of planning before the meeting.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I say something quickly?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of reiterating what Jeremy just said. I don't know, Mr. Tony, you are just a wonderful speaker. So I mean, you're good. The subject and the way you present it is always wonderful, spot on. But I'm going to ask you a question. If this was a paid audience, I'm not sure you would do this, because you want to give your audience the best, the true material from you, well prepared, polished, garnished, and well presented. In as much as you still have this wonderful thing, I still feel that what you give to us is not a finished product.
I think it's a really fair point.
So I think what you give to us is not a finished product. So assuming if we are the supposed paid audience, we won't get the benefit of a supposed very interesting topic, because dreams fascinates me. I'm the guy who dreams and say my dream, I'm dreaming. So I think that, like I said to Stella, please, I want to hear this speech again, because it's so good. It's so motivating and so inspiring, that it's so informing that people will benefit. Even myself will benefit a lot from it. Please just give us a little bit of polished work from you. We want to hear that one.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you, Mara. Have we got time?
Do it, yeah. Well, I was going to say that I really liked the second part of the speech, because I was able to understand where we were going. Maybe because, as you say, this is your expertise, I felt like it was going maybe too fast for me to understand. When you ask for comment, and then I was like confused, like, am I understanding what mechanics means in dreams? Like, maybe it was a little bit complex, even though I know it's like dreams, but if you can take me just from my hand, like a kindergarten child, and really help me understand step by step where I'm going, I think it's easier to get the message at the end. But I think what I love is the way that you interact with everyone. Like, you are not afraid of, give me an example. I will be so afraid that someone gives me an example that I don't know how to react. But you are always super open to bring the audience to construct the speech with you. So I think that's a great, awesome thing. Thank you.
And next we have Alistair, who's going to redo one of his earlier speeches to polish up, because he's going to present it to a completely strange audience in Salisbury. So, big round of applause.
Can we take
Shall I
the
take
notes?
All right, okay. Okay, you promise not even look at
Shall I fold the order just so that you can get across?
Look at it, in no to trust. No problem.
That's the post.
Over my life, I've dealt with a lot of anxiety. And I actually joined Toastmasters back in April because whenever I had to do public speaking, I'd become overwhelmed with stage fright. My heart would pound and my hands would become drenched with sweat. That was on a good day. If I got the chance, I would avoid it completely. By show of hands, has anybody else ever had those feelings? At some point in their life. But about a year ago, I started doing mindful meditation. And I'm not the poster boy for tranquility. But before doing mindfulness, I never would have joined a public speaking club. So tonight, I want to share with you what mindfulness is, and if you like the sound of it, how you can practice it yourself. The first thing to understand about mindfulness is that it's about experiencing the present moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judging them. Most of us have an inner monologue that's constantly running. It labels this as bad, that is good, reminds us about the past, and it worries about the future. And because of this, we don't actually allow ourselves to enjoy what's happening right in front of us, even though the present moment is all we ever actually have. Eckhart Tolle has a really great quote about this. He says, "The division of life into past, present and future is mind-made and ultimately illusory. Past and future are thought forms. The past can only be remembered now. What you remember is an event that took place in the now, and you remember it now. The future, when it comes, is the now. So the only thing that is real, the only thing that exists, is the now." Or, to quote a really enlightened DJ, right here, right now, Fatboy Slim. When you first start meditating, as you might, for those of you who are not familiar with who Eckhart Tolle is, he's a spiritual teacher that promotes meditation. And he once wrote a book about how living in the present moment will transform your life. To give you an idea of who his customers are, there'd be me and women over the age of 50. For some reason, breathing exercises and living in the present moment without judging it are two things that are really popular with menopausal women. I like that stuff too. So when you first start meditating, there's actually a lot of really bad advice out there. I still remember the first time I learned to meditate. I went to a certified teacher. He had me lie down, close my eyes, and imagine I was walking along the beach. And I will always remember that session, because halfway through it, he started eating his lunch. He had spare ribs. Of all the foods he could eat, he had spare ribs. And as I was walking along the beach, all I could think about, all I could smell were those spare ribs. Eventually it got too distracting, and I complained. And his response to me was, "Look, you're already using your mind to pretend you're walking along a beach. How about you also use it to imagine there's a barbecue happening at the same time?" When I told that joke last time, I got a much bigger laugh. What he taught me wasn't mindfulness. To practice mindfulness, you don't have to visit a teacher or dress up like a monk. It's actually really simple. You just have to find a quiet place with no distractions, and you can do it lying or sitting down. And every time a thought arises, bring your attention back to your breath. Your thoughts are actually the single biggest obstacle you have to experiencing the present moment. Some of you might be thinking, mindfulness sounds great, but you quite like thinking too, yet you don't really want to give up thinking. Is anybody here thinking that? After all, our thoughts can be quite useful. We can do a lot of important things with our thinking. We can plan for the future, reflect on our life choices, and perhaps most importantly, our thoughts can help us win pointless arguments with people we don't like. I want to emphasize mindfulness as a tool. The really great thing about being human is we can be flexible with our behaviors. So you can just use mindfulness for the times you want to relax, or when you want to absorb yourself fully into an experience. Another thing to consider is as you start becoming more present, you might actually start getting annoyed every time you realise you're not in the present moment. Well, don't. Because every time you realise you're slipping out of the present, you're actually strengthening the connections in your brain that allow you to become present. After all, it's only by being aware you're not present can you become present. To sum up, I encourage all of you to practice mindfulness. The benefits are numerous. Almost immediately, you'll have a better quality of life. Science has also shown people who practice mindfulness are better empathizers because their minds are more present with the people they're speaking to. And finally, it's always nice just to have a lie down.
Yes.
Tell me I would have paid attention. I am joking, by the way. For me, it's like night and day. I can't think how many weeks ago it was we first experienced that talk, but it was like you'd taken it outside and you'd shaken all the crap off it, no disrespect. You'd shaken all the crap off it, you'd beat all the dust off it with a big stick and everything else, washed it, rinsed it in the river, and brought it back and said, here it is. It was. This sounds strange, but it was you naked. It was the real you. It wasn't. I don't know. It was just the real you. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the way you used our lack of laughing to your advantage. When you kind of walked across here, and you said, "I got a bigger laugh first time round," or whatever it was you said. It was just in the moment. It was fresh, and for me, it really highlighted the fact that you were really actually doing what you're talking about. You were living in the now. You weren't thinking, oh shit, you got a big laugh last time, it didn't this time, it didn't go inside your head. You stayed very present. Your eye contact was wonderful. Everybody, you literally looked around, just nice as well, 3, 5, 8 seconds, looking at each person. It wasn't kind of flicking around the room. Really, really enjoyed it, and got so much more from it, because you were so much more here, instead of in here. So I loved it. Anyone else like to offer things? Yeah, Brian?
2 stars. The first one, the eye contact is just so strong. It's so amazing because it's not like just going everywhere. It's really like a strategic eye contact, like here, there. It's really, really powerful. Like you can feel a little bit overwhelmed. Why is he looking at me so long? But it's really easy to connect with you. And the second star, that I saw you smiling a couple of bits during the talk, and I think it was because you were absolutely yourself, like naked. I don't have any wish. It was great.
Nikki?
Oh, I was just going to say that I thought it was really good. You just sounded really calm. The way you walked up and down, just really, really cool, really calm. And I liked your hand gestures when you were talking about meditation. And also, I don't know if you'd gone to say something and then backtracked where you wanted to tell us about Eckhart Tolle.
Right.
And you went, actually, no. But you didn't make a big deal out of it. You just went, oh, actually, no. And then just carried on.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it wasn't sound like you were fluffing or anything. So I just thought it was one of your best speeches that I've seen.
Thank you.
So well done.
Cheers.
Who else would